ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Gary here today bringing you a short kind of commentary of CSGO. This is actually going to be a tactics video mainly for my team, but it can be used by anyone if you really want to use it. This is mainly for people that are queued with each other or people that at least have some knowledge of the game or they're working with teammates that they know. This is going to be the CT side. Now, keep in mind that this is for lower level play, so most of this stuff will not work if you're like above the Gold Nova ranks, somewhere in there. First, I'm going to be going over playing B with only 2 people, as in my team. We usually send 3A to B. So as soon as you come out of CT spawn, you want to have a smoke thrown mid. I have a video on all the different smokes and everything, but if you smoke off mid, you're going to be able to cross over to B a lot easier and a lot safer. Once you get in B, the person who did not throw the mid smoke should be throwing a smoke to cover off the tons as soon as possible. If not, alternatively, they can throw a Molotov just to get that area covered. The person who did throw the smoke mid should then come over to dog. This would be for an early game setup or rounds where you just want to throw it into the mix. And then the second person who smoked off tons should get themselves positioned at big box. The reason this setup usually works is because the terrorists are going to be pushing in like this. So if you have someone at big box, he can bait out shots, he can shoot at them, whatever. And the terrorists are really going to be focused on him, which means that they're not going to have time to check for the guy at dog, in which case, once the terrorists push out to about here, the guy at dog is actually going to be able to start shooting him in the side, in the back, whatever. If he waits a little longer, and the guy at big box just crouches back here, they'll actually push out here, and they'll be like all in this area right here, kind of. So the guy at dog can actually spring his trap then, and catch a lot of them off guard. The second setup for B, which is kind of the same, but a little bit alternated, basically, if they're catching on, or if that play just isn't what we want to do, you can have one guy set up at big box. Of course, all these plays hinge on this being smoked off. You can have one guy set up at big box. He's going to be your shot baiter / first engager, so if he has like an AWP and M4, it'd be perfect for that. And then you can have one guy set up around here at car, or you can have him kind of behind like this box right here, and you can even have him like back here or even here. The reason for this position would be once the terrorists have actually, I had the long layers there. Once the terrorists have pushed out, they'll be focused on the guy at big box yet. So if the guy at big box is able to effectively bait shots, or if he's actually able to get a few kills, they're going to be pushing out and they're going to be focusing solely on him. So if the guy right here then peeks out with an SMG or an M4 or P90 even, which is an SMG, he's going to be able to get a lot of kills on the guys here that are actually pushing out at your guy at big box. So it's going to be really easy kills for him. It's going to be easy to cooperate like that. Alternatively, the third setup for B, which is easy, simple, but easy to counter as well, would be having your AWPer come through from CT up through window, back sight, and back plat behind this box. The reason for this, obviously, is because he can get shots on people in here very easily comparatively to if he was over here. Oh, back there, he has full range of this whole thing, whereas at big box, you can really only see this part here. Your second player is going to come through door. He's going to smoke off tons, obviously, and then he's going to go set up at either big box or back behind the kind of safe plant spot there. The reason for this is if he's at the safe plant spot, he's going to be able to catch them as soon as they push out this kind of area right here. The AWPer can just stay crouched down there. This guy's going to have clear shot at anyone that way. And then the reason for big box is he can also bait shots for the AWPer, yada yada yada. It's not really that good to set up at car because then your AWPer is there taking shots on his own. However, you have someone in this part of sight, they're going to be able to shoot into here as well. Whereas car, they kind of have to wait until they cross this line right here, by which time your AWPer might already be dead and you'll get baiting accusations. In terms of playing B with 3 people, one should come through doors like this, smoke off tons, one should come up here with some kind of gun and go back plat, and one should, of course, come up here or here and go big box, and then the guy who smokes off tons should then come over here to dog. The reason for these positions has been explained now, so they're basically the all-around best positions to play. For A site, I found that it's basically the best to hinge all your long plays on kind of one player or one player's position. So as you come out of CT, you can obviously get someone up on here to get up on cat, fast cat as it's called. However, that's not the most effective way to play this. What I like to do is have two people come down long, like this. Let me redraw this actually. Two people will come down long. One will have an AWP, and the other will have assault rifle or something of the sort. The AWPer is going to take an angle kind of like this, and he's going to hold like this just so he can see into long doors. The guy with the M4 or whatever is going to come into pit here. And let me clear this up. So the guy with the AWP is going to be right around here, I guess, and he's going to have sight into long doors with the AWP. So he can take a shot and then fall back safely to car. The reason the guy is in pit is because he can just chill out here with his head down below. He can see people that come out like this, so the AWPer is completely safe from being pushed as long as this guy does his job. Once this guy falls back to car, he can then help out his buddy in pit, because if the terrorists push out like this, they're going to try to get the guy in pit. However, if this guy is car, he's going to have perfect sight line on this. So basically, you want to have as much teamwork as possible in the game. That way, everyone's potential is going to be more effective, basically. Meanwhile, the third person should be playing up here on site. Okay, I have the wrong layer selected here again. The third person should be up here on site or somewhere on ramp playing cat. You don't want to be pushing up cat solo if you're the only one playing cat, because then the terrorists are going to be able to come in here and they're going to be able to get an easy flank on your guys at long, so you don't want that. A second setup for this is one counter-terrorist will run out here and play cat from on site. One counter-terrorist is going to take the op spot here at long, and then one counter-terrorist is going to come right here. Now there's a flash you can do where you aim at a electrical pole from standing right here. So if that flash pops, it'll pop right around here. So the reason for that is your AWPer will get a shot or whatever on a guy like this. He falls back to car or he falls back to ramp. Meanwhile, this guy can flash for him in that area. He falls back. This guy, after he flashes, can rotate over and play at cat if they're rushing cat as well. Or he can actually go car as well if he wants to play long with the AWPer. I suggest not trying to hold off in this area at all, no matter what weapon you have, because they're going to be able to push all the way out here. They're going to be in pit. They're going to be pretty much everywhere out there, and it's going to be a really tough shot for you to make, but it's going to be a really easy shot for them to get on a counter-terrorist who's just in the wide open. If they've taken long control, I suggest not being behind this box right here, but instead up on the site, behind kind of this line right there. The reason for that is that'll be your best cover. You never want to be behind, well, you never want to be in front of this line here, basically, because then you're going to have no cover or anything like that. In terms of playing just cat with two players, you can have obviously a person come up here, boost up here, he gets up on cat, and then you can have the second guy run around like this and get up on cat, and possibly up on the little boxes that are here as well, and then he can see down to cat as well. This is very effective if he has an op. Long and cat should always be played, though, with two people long and one person holding cat. This makes it easy to get rotates, as the AWPer especially can rotate from long to here. That's only not even 10 seconds to rotate that far, whereas the guys B have to come all the way through here, and it's going to be a lot longer than 10 seconds. So if the guy on site calls out that there's some guys cat, the AWPer can rotate like this, get a shot at them, rotate back long if needed, and get a shot at those guys as well. But it's very effective because you can still have this guy in pit who's watching it, as well as the guy here, and the AWPer can kind of just chill out. And if cat's clear, the AWPer can actually post up right here and look through mid to help you guys B, which is something I do quite a bit when I'm playing with the team, is I'll actually post up, since I'm the main AWPer usually, and watch mid doors. That eliminates the need for anyone to have to play mid specifically, because cat's covered, mid's going to be covered by the AWPer, and then long is covered as well. So no one really needs to watch mid, and it eliminates the risk of having someone pick mid. So these guys B can just focus on this area here, which makes their job a lot easier. It makes the guys at A seem more useful if it's a B take, etc., etc. In terms of if you don't have an op or someone's not comfortable playing this position, this is mainly though if you don't have an op, you want to flash out somewhere around here. Let me actually switch the color just for the flash here, because flashes make everything white. So you flash out around there. Then you're going to have one guy get to pit and one guy up here at blue. The reason for this is they're going to push out. They're going to see the guy pit. They're going to be focused on him. They're trying to shoot him, right? They're going to push out to this area here to try and get this guy. This guy at blue has easy shots on the back of the terrorists as they actually push out to get the guy in pit. And it's highly unlikely either one of these players will actually get picked if it's played right. The reason for this is that a crossfire is just so hard to counter when it's set up like this, because if a terrorist pushes out like this to shoot at this guy, guess what? He's exposed to this guy. If he pushes out to here to try and get this guy, well, that's kind of a problem, but you can just duck down into pit, no worries. He pushes out, boom, this guy's got him. It's really hard to counter a position like that unless you have smokes, flashes, molotovs, nades, everything like that, and a lot of terrorists in lower levels don't actually buy that stuff. So it's really useful to set up in positions like that where it's really hard to counter you. In terms of playing long with 3 players, which should never be done, but if it's pistol round or whatever and you want to stack it, I suggest having 1 car, 1 pit, and then 1 back in this area. The reason for this guy back here is so he can still watch cat, even though I said never to hold there, but it's okay to hold there if the terrorists haven't pushed out to this area, because your teammates are going to be able to hold them off. And then you can also rotate down here if needed. You can rotate up to cat if needed. And you can also watch mid. Car is a really strong spot. However, don't play back here so much, because what's going to happen is they're going to push up here, and due to angles, they're going to actually be able to see your arm before you can see them at all because of this wall here. So if you see that line goes to where they could see your arm, this one's your view. You can't see jack shit before they can see you, so you'll get pre-fired a lot. An alternative version, though, to playing long with an AWPer and an SMG or a rifle, this has been extremely effective, is you'll actually have your AWPer play back here at barrels, extremely passive, and then you'll have your SMG guy right here. The reason for this is because of angles, he'll actually have the advantage on pushing terrorists. The AWPer back here playing extremely passive is going to be able to pick anyone if they peek over this line right here, which is pretty awesome, because if they try to get in pit, boom, dead. If they try peek here, boom, dead. Here, boom, dead. Here, boom, dead. Okay. So then if they actually do smoke them off or whatever, say that's a smoke there, and they start pushing, guess what? Guy car is going to have shots on them. The guy with the AWP is hopefully going to have shots on them as well. I think that basically sums it up, except a few more tips. You don't want to be playing mid from this area. This basically nullifies the whole playing mid, because you can't see if anyone's going cat, you can only hear them, but if they're walking, it's going to be very useless playing there. I suggest playing back here by the Humvee with an AWP and just looking up top mid. Even with Peeker's advantage, it's still going to be have to be a hell of a shot if they come up here and hit a shot on you, even with an AWP. However, with the strats I went over, mid doesn't really have to be played by anyone. They can just be set up in B, and the guys A can actually take care of mid pretty well. You don't really even see a lot of terrorists going mid anymore, so it's really not that dangerous. You'll have like one guy go mid or whatever, which can easily be called out to your team at B or A respectively if it needs to be taken care of. In terms of rotates, when you're rotating to retake a site, never go through alone into territory you don't know. If you're just holding B and you don't know if there's a guy here or not, or there's been nothing there so far, don't go in here alone, because there could be a guy here, 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 he could be waiting here. You know, there's countless angles which have to be checked solo, and if bombs out there or something, it's very useful to have 2 people come in here so that at least it can be traded, or you guys can possibly pick up a lot more kills. However, it is very good to rotate through like this. However, you're going to get less intel, so if you do actually rotate through like this, don't rotate through T-spawn. This is going to take you a lot longer. If you want to go long, rotate through like this, because that's going to take you a lot less time than if you have to go through T-spawn all the way over here, and you have more of a chance to get killed by lurk the whole way, because someone else is probably not going to be coming with you. In terms of retaking cat, just come up here like this, throw a smoke maybe here, nade sight, pizza nade, whatever like that, and get yourself back into sight. Hopefully it'll be good. And hopefully these tips actually help you guys. I hope they do. Spent a little bit of time thinking on this about what the best strategies would be. And yes, I did just download this overall view map from Google because I needed a quick picture. So don't be hating too much because of that. Once again, I hope these help.